Well, we're coasting in. We didn't go anywhere. Brakes work. Valve cover is Exxon Valdezing like crazy. I'm happy I looked under the car before I took off or made it any further than I did, because it was just, I mean, it's just pissing. So good news. Oil flow's good. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, 1971, I think. Pretty sure. Squareback. It's been on the channel before. It'll be linked into the playlist of what we're doing. It was a revival when it first came out on the channel. Owner bought it from an auction, got it running, driving, had to do some engine work, so on and so forth. Dual carbs are now on it. Blah, 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 yakety schmackety. The thing was running good. This is the first time it's been back, and, well, it was broken. Well, still kind of is, but not really. After this, I already did work on it. I got it running again. The starter went out. I'd have quick clips of just putting a starter in. So put a starter in, fired right up. Went back there, adjusted on the carbs just a little bit to get it running right. Right now, I was going to swap the fuel tank. He said he saw rust or something in the filter. There is, but it's nothing that I'm concerned about. I did pull the fuel cinder unit out, because when you pull them out, you can see the, well, out of the tank, and it's clean. There's nothing, no chunks, nothing floating around in there. So what I'm thinking happened is it just, I don't know, correlation of it not running, because I think it did vapor lock. So the tank I'm going to keep in. I do have another one. If it does give issues, I'll replace it, no charge. But what I am going to do is I am going to put an electric fuel pump in, because I'm thinking it's vapor locking, because it was a super hot day. He was stuck in traffic for a car show here. I think this was in August. We're in November now, it's the time of this recording. So I think it was just a myriad of bad situations causing this thing just not to run on him. And then the valve cover was leaking also, or the gasket went loose. So it was a compounding thing, I guess is what I'm getting at. So right now, anyway, to make myself feel at ease as of right now, I'm just going to put an electric fuel pump on, because hopefully that'll at least solve the vapor lock issue. Just mount it up front. If you watched, the same owner has the red one, red Squareback. Same location, same stuff, same everything I'm going to do that I did on that one. I'm going to do on this one. I'm going to have to reroute the lines a little bit in the back, but nothing major. Let me get this thing in the air, and let's get fuel pump mounted first and foremost. Oh, that would have been bad. Almost broke a brand new radiator. Anywho's, yeah, I don't even know how to start this because I didn't cut an intro, but I'm going to give you a bit of the lights. I guess sort of behind the scene diagnostic of things when they first come in. Type 3's back. I'm pretty sure I'll cover that in the intro. Just got here, no start condition. It's been on the channel before. Pretty sure the starter's dead. It was having issues when I originally had this car. Starting, put a jumper relay on, and it seemed to fix it. Well, now it's, well, not starting again. I can hear the relay clicking, so I know it's getting power. I already test probed the out of the ignition. It's shooting power back. So the only thing left is the starter. But the problem is, it is orientated the wrong way in my shop. I need it the other way. So, with that said, also, I'm fat, I'm out of breath, it's hot, and I had to push this thing. But anyway, I'm hoping the old, let's beat the crap out of the starter. I already have a new one, but I don't want to change this on the ground if I don't have to. I need a longer bar. Beat the crap out of the starter and hopefully it make it work. I already jiggled the connectors. They're connected fine. So I'm hoping. If you didn't know, you can access the starter if you jack up your car. On pretty much all Volkswagens. It's awesome. But like I said, I do need it to start to hopefully turn it around. Nothing. All right, that thing's completely dead. Try giving it the old love taps. I've been mildly successful with having that work or not. More on the not than the success. But, all right. I'm not going to bore you with the details of changing a starter. 2 bolts, crawl under, 17 in connectors. Take them out, swap them. Let me get that done, and hopefully this be running, because like I said, I need it the other way to put it on the lift. But honestly, if it runs, I don't think I need to go under this thing again. Well, I'm doing a fuel tank, so yeah, to run stuff. Oh, and I am going to put an electric pump on this thing. Like I said, this is first time I'm seeing it as well as you guys. I haven't been. It's been here for like 10 minutes. Still has oil. Making sure. But all right, I'll be right back. Let me throw a starter in. All right, I don't know how well the audio is going to not mic'd up pickup, but the new starters I got, they're not the factory ones. They're like mini. They're obviously tiny. The solenoid's just as big as a starter motor. I've had good success out of them, is I guess what I'm getting at. I warranty them, so whatever. I think they're for like a Golf or something like that. Not sure. Mark 1s, Volkswagens. Not 100% sure what they're for. But anyway, they work. If for some reason it doesn't, well, I have a factory auto stick one, brand new, that I can shove in this, that I use for my bench starting. Anywho's, let me shove this thing in like I said I was going to do. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Now, I know I'm super, always super clean in these videos, but starter's in. Let's see what happens. All right. So that works. Yeah. I doubt it was from me. Just going to say this, but yeah, another small Bosch starter. This is an actual Bosch, and it tells you not to strike with a hammer. So I use a crowbar, but if you can hear, actually, hell, you can see the bearings are out. That whole nose cone is freaking moving. Junk. Like I've said before, well, let's see if this pig runs. I know a lot of people that, they swear by, oh, I want to get, name brand stuff, Bosch, this, that, and the other thing, GM, AC Delco, so on and so forth. But I don't know when that was put in. I don't know how, well, obviously, I find stuff, everything seems like it's crapped out of the same factory nowadays. Doesn't sound like it has any fuel in it. I don't think this ran in a while. Let me roll this forward. But yeah, we are going to do an electric fuel pump on this. Might take some cranking. I lied. Needs fuel. I barely hear her squirters. Come on. There we go. Still runs great. Dual carbs. If you watch the videos, we put the duals on this thing. Still sounds fine. might have to tweak with the idle. I know the owner had a heat shield put on this side, so that means he had to take off the carburetor. Could have messed with the settings a little bit, not unknowingly, like bumping it around. So we'll double check sync and stuff like that, but she runs. All right, let me turn this thing around. Hey, my lift wasn't all the way down. Anywho's, sort of broke my mic, so that's good. All right, she runs. I don't know if it picks up in my audio. Driver side, passenger side carburetor is popping. So definitely have something going on there. Like I said, gonna do a resync on it. Yeah, bent my doobly-doo. I'm gonna have to glue it. But yeah, passenger side's popping. So just do a resync and clean it up. Like I said, he did have the carbs off, or that carb off to put a heat shield on. So no big deal if it got a little out of whack. I don't know why the driver is, but if they're not reading the same, that would be a good indicator. So I guess next step, let me get this thing racked up and we'll start putting a fuel tank in it. All right, guys, car's up. I got some stuff rounded up. This filter, it does, one thing I did do, sort of remembered and forgot all at the same time, I'll bring you up here, because I had if you remember, we flushed this tank, or I flushed this tank. I did run dual fuel filters, so there is one in the rear, but this one does definitely have sediment in it. Not enough to clog, but it is doing its job in filtering. And there's one back here, a smaller one back here, which is clear. As maybe a chunk, but that's what I'm assuming was in the line. You can only flush them as good as you can. Blinding. I gotta change the battery. Great. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna mount this pump. Your standard or noisy one, right to the beam. It's not going to interfere with anything. It'll be out of the way. It can't hit anything. Make sure you have your lines orientated right, filter side, and we're going to run another filter. But just mark it where it's going to live. Yeah, that's good enough. Type 3s are easy because you have so much room under here. You don't have to, but I put pilot holes in and then run just self-tappers. Drill it to the final size. Crap. Twice. Let me change the battery real quick. You're not going to miss much. Or I'll get this mounted and change the battery. I would just use a smaller extension. All right. That's mounted. That's mounted. That pump's not going anywhere. In, out. Let me change the battery and yeah, we'll get this wired up. I already put a dongle end on this, a little butt connector pin in. So I also got a Rob 12 volt hot from up in the cabin because I don't think I have a source down here. Or if I do, it's probably long gone. I can rob it off the brakes terminal. No, I can't. It's only going to turn on if I hit the brakes. Drive around with your brakes on. I mean, yeah, I don't see anything or a provision. All right, let me rob some power from up there. But yeah, this is and then connecting. Let me change the battery first, and then I'll ramble. All right, making up a fuel filter. If you didn't know, out of these tanks, or at least this tank, is a quarter. Fuel pumps are 3/8 or 5/16, and the outline, the injector line, is 5/16, which is good because I can use this barb, put this line here, and then on fuel filters, you got a quarter and then the 5/16 side. Yeah, basically using it as an adapter to go over this stuff. I need some looby-doob. Like so. And honestly, you don't, this is a filter. If you get these pumps, you have two options. You can run a filter or run another barb. I like to double up filters. Number one, because I can't see what is going on in this guy. And like, well, maybe if it picked up, you can see what's going on in this one. Who is that now? Anyway, what I'm gonna do is take my handy dandy vice gripperies, self-locking pliers, what have you, hopefully be able to pinch off this fuel flow or slow it down enough so I can transfer this crap to that. Come on, go in there. I'll put this guy on this. Typically I'd change out all these lines, but well, it hasn't been gone that long. These are all brand new. Good. I'll just zip tie this so it has some strain relief. I had to make sure you guys were still recording. Oop, not that one. So it's not, you know, all floppy, flippity, floopity, what have you. All right, and then simply enough, take this guy off. Plug that into this one. Come on. There we go. Yeah, and this one did have a bunch of crud in it. But that's why we put filters in. Go down there. Tighten this hose clamp. And this is the injection style clamp. Again, that's good, lazy. Fuel flowed in. It does have sediment coming into it, but I mean, that's to be expected. We did derustify this tank. Nothing in here is what it would be concerning. It's not like loading up the filter, it's just sitting on the bottom. Now I have to do something dumb. I stink. Run this wire. Well, it's a butt connector. Mainly I should have started in the cabin and ran out here because I got free range of motion out here and I don't have that in the cabin. So let me get this thing down and start snaking this down. What I'm planning on doing, gonna try to run it along where the brake line, I'm on locks, where the brake lines go through. So whatever path that is what I'm gonna try to chase. I need you. Grab Ground floor-ish. The one good thing is, all right, those are all the wires for a brake. I might be able to throw this down. It's probably hung up in something. Because it felt like I fed like a mile through, but when you're pushing it, you know, 1/16 of an inch at a time, you just want the monotony to be over with. Let's finish connecting things down there, and then I'll connect stuff up here. Notice I did see the green wire that come down. There it is. Hello. All right. Now I got to run this, so it's obviously not like in steering components, because that might not be ideal. Pull that. You can come this way. Whoop. Route you around that. Go above this, and then above that, and under that, and around that. All right, and connect that. Boop. Nice. Now more zip ties. All I'm using them for, well, honestly, well, to hold the wire in place. Oh no! Hold the wire in place and then, you know, also have it not fall or go somewhere it shouldn't. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Keep it out of harm's way, or try to. That's good. We got power. Well, the potential of power. I'll bring you in. Maybe show you a bit more. Not sure. So, mounted that just for quick change. It runs up, around, under, and then up through where all the, say, brake line, you can barely see, brake lines and switches and all that stuff comes out. Gotta stop blinding myself. I try my dangest not to punch new holes if there are, well, already holes. Don't get me wrong, if I have to, I will, but usually you can find a provision already that's made. All right, now I gotta get a test light and rob some power from in here to kick that pump over. Well, actually, first thing I'm gonna do is redo the line in the back, get rid of the mechanical, put a block off plate on, and that should be high enough. Yeah, I'll get rid of the, I'll just bring it back there, hold on. All right, as I was saying, what I'm gonna have to do back here, fuel in, whoop, fuel in to the pump. We're gonna obviously disconnect, I don't know what I'm pointing at. All right, fuel into the pump. Pump is gonna get, nothing's magnetic. There we go. Pump's gonna get disconnected and go away. So I'm gonna put a block off plate, get rid of this because now we have electric. And this line will be just pretty much bent and then routed to the end on the carbs over here. So it'll just go pump, 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 and then it does its loop to the other carb. Hopefully mildly simple and straightforward. Let me get some stuff and yeah, reconfigure what was already configured because I configured it to begin with. Plan. All right, guys, well, I goofed. I had to make a block off plate because the one I ordered, yeah, may not be the smartest man, but if you've been following the Jeep project, I ordered a fuel plate or ordered a block off plate for this thing, But what came in was the block off plate for that engine. If you didn't know, Chevy and or Buick in this case, that case, and Volkswagen, completely different. So basically, lost the gasket. Just quick, down and dirty. Got a gasket, plate steel. That's all you get. Oh, that's all these things are. Boop. Transfer over. It's not the cleanest, but you know what? Well, as far as that's clean. Doesn't look the prettiest, but it will work 132%. So I'm fine with it. Yeah, like I said, if you've been following that Jeep build, I have parts coming in constantly for, well, vehicles obviously, but the big problem is keeping track of what goes where or with whom. All right, well, let's get that off. This go the fuel lines. All right, fuel pump. Hey, shit. That's fine. It was one of my nuts. Yeah, flange nut. Pull this gasket out. Yeah, this pump's good. Might end up as a shelf item, might pitch it. They're cheap enough to where I warranty everything. I don't, unless it's mine, or if I need a test pump, I'm not gonna save it. I will save the fuel pump push rod though. That is a for sure. Boop. And this thing leached a bunch of oil up here. She's oiling good. And where'd that flashlight go? See if I can put eyes on that bolt that fell, nut that fell. Did it hit the ground? Nope, sure didn't. Only good thing is it can't get into anything. It went down far enough, I'm not worried about it. All right, new gasket. Slide this guy down. I think I've said this, if you have problems seating gaskets or sliding gaskets down, just use your socket. Plate. Boink. Down. Need another screw. Actually, I need washers because it's not thick. Be right back. All right, I got two washers. It's actually kind of counterproductive because I put these nuts on for a reason, so I don't need them. But I need the ups. I need more like a spacer than a washer, I guess is what I'm getting at. Same thing like fuel pumps. Don't over tighten them, you'll crack that pedestal. Show you. So, yeah. If you're, hold on. Dad cam filming. Yeah, just goes down there. 2/13, pull your pump, put your plate on, done. Simple. Now this, I'm gonna have to route, obviously, new line from there to there. And this line will go away. I could probably still use my grommet. All right, let me route something real quick and I'll be back to you and show you what we got going on list developments. Sorry guys, I'm trying not to drop washers. So I get access to the fuel. without, you know, breaking anything or destroying anything. Because I'm not trying to break carburetors, obviously. All right, there we go. This line off and making a mess all over. Perfect. All right, now this is the fuel supply. And, well, it has to be fuel supplied the other way now. That feels much more gooder. I'm still gonna have to go, well, under to do the rest of this. All right, how much fuel line do I need? I need a clamp. They're still good. Fuel line. First off, let's get this onto this. All right, that's on. That looks like a good cut. Boop. All right. Get my clamps back. The clamps! All right, fuel line, hosey clampy. I can go on after. Oh. What I was trying to say is I'm not running a fuel pressure regulator currently. So I want to make sure this carb doesn't drip. All right, let me rob power from the fuse block. All I'm gonna do is just walk you through because it's gonna be very tight in there. Take test light, go through the block. Boop, 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 boop. Whatever one, you know, don't want the light lit up. Then turn the key on, do the same thing. Boop, 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 boop. Whatever one lights up with the key on power, that'll run the pump. So with that said, let me crawl in there, run it hot real quick, and I'll be right back. Guys, that was surprisingly easy. There's actually an unused spade terminal or reverse female spade, a male. Yeah, a male. Sticking at a fuse block, I guess is what I'm getting at. All right, I did key it on, it does work. We're a little wet just because I screwed with it, but let's turn it on and make sure that it's pumping. I hear the pump running. If you didn't know, the carbs are sensitive. So I want to make sure that the seats are going to seat. I heard a tone change, so in theory, they're seated. All right, let's turn this thing. All right, let me twist this thing off, see what happens. Hopefully, because, well, now they're primed and we have a key to prime them, it should just light off. And that ball is really tight. So is that one. I might shoot some lube on there. This car had, I think, it has the original linkage that came with this car, which is like fire damaged, and I tried to salvage it, and it's working. I think a lot of drivability could be that. Fire and hole. Still cold natured, I see. Let me shut this thing off. Perfect. All right, as you can hear, or actually if you watched the very first video, you know this thing is cold natured. It's colder here, obviously, and there's no chokes, so you got to give them a little time to warm up. Let's wipe the rag, then smell it. Yeah, it smells like oil, no fuel. So that's good. But yeah, it's cold natured. Once you get some heat into it, everything comes into alignment or spec. It does have pro-modded push rod, so as much as I like to set them to 0 lash and never touch them, I always have just a little in there because the rockers do heat up and they'll take out that lash. So once everything kind of starts harmonizing, runs good. What's a tempered start like? Nice. Yeah, starter sounds good. I'm happy with that. Once I get miles on it, I did, like I said, I did resync the carbs and so on and so forth. After getting, a couple miles on to get the engine actually hot, I'll address if I have to drop the idle again. Not sure. It's a dance. Hokey pokey, right foot, left foot, so on and so forth. But with that said, I just got to bolt down the fuel sending unit, and then we'll take it out on the road tomorrow because, well, everything's stupid and it's dark out right now. Yep, so tomorrow morning, move some stuff, take it for a rip. I don't foresee any issues, but what do I know? New fuel filter, so on and so forth. Also, this way it can sit here, and if it leaks, well, I'll walk into a shop full of gas tomorrow. Yep, that's a great plan. I'll be back. All right, guys, nice chilly morning. Let's see how this starts. It's going to be a quick test drive. I just want to make sure that the pump will be able to keep up with the fuel demand and nothing weird's going to happen as far as it overpressurized from driving. I've seen it happen, with say, carbs jumping around, stuff like that. Because remember, I'm just going on what that pump puts out. So if for some reason at idle it's fine, but driving those carbs get disturbed and they dump their floats,
we're going to have issues. So, like I said, I just want to do a quick little wee and call it good. Cold start. Also, he was saying something about the clutch engagement. Pump's running. Nice. He was saying something about the clutch engagement is very, like, jerky or bucky. I didn't notice that in my test drive when I originally drove it. So, I don't know. If, again, everyone drives vehicles differently. I drive pretty much everything the way that they feel like they need to be driven. They can be a little lighter on the clutch or more heavier on the clutch. I could be driver. All cars are different. This car definitely drives different than his other Squareback. I don't know. I'm rambling. One pump and let's fire. Oh, you want more? Well, we're off to a good start. All right. All right, let me let this warm up like normal. Open everything up and get on the way. I did put a gallon of gas in this thing just because I don't trust the fuel gauge, and it looks like we have more than a quarter, and that's what the gauge was reporting. So put about a gallon in. But yeah, let me let this thing get some heat into it and join me on the road. Crazy. I'm happy I looked under the car before I took off or made it any further than I did, because it was just, I mean, it's just pissing. So, good news. Oil flow's good. Got to figure out. I know he said, I think I said it in the clip, he did replace the valve cover gasket. I don't know why it's popped again, but that's definitely where it's coming from. It is severely leaking. So, I'll be right back. Let me throw one on and see, hopefully get on the road. Yeah, not a fan right now. Ooh, that could have been really bad. I'll be back. Also, the gauge lights don't work. One of the center caps for this is down. So, yeah, I couldn't even tell if this thing was blowing up or not. Anywho, I'll be back. I did lube the, what have you, linkage. It's just super thick, super stiff. Wee woos. So, yeah, I did lube the linkage. It's super stiff. It's really hard to get the carb. Well, you can get the carbs synced. Shush. You can get the carbs synced up, but the linkage is like binding. If you watch the first video of, you know, putting this car back together, you know it has, I don't know, like fire damage. Yeah, it's like it has cruise control. But yeah, I've dropped this idle twice already, and it's just those arms, the dual carb linkage arms, they're just binding. I don't want to, well, drop it anymore, because if they do come around and, well, this thing don't idle. The high idle's not hurting it, so that's, I mean, a good thing. But preferably don't really like it. It's idling at like almost 1,000, which alternator car I can down idle it to about 850. But the problem is, if I get it there, is it going to stay or is it going to drop off? I did feel a shudder in first gear. It's just the clutch. It has like a stage flavor clutch on it. But it's idling fine. Oh, steering wheel button's upside down. Longest light ever. Yeah, we're just going to circle back to the shop, make sure everything's good. I wanted to feel the clutch. I'm happy I took it out because, well, if I didn't and I had him pick it up, well, he would have blown the engine shortly after. So that's a good thing. And like I said, two reasons. Main reason I wanted to drive it is just, well, see what's going on with the engine. It's fine. But also the, like I said, clutch. He was complaining about, you know, the shudder from first gear takeoff. You might hear it in this. I don't know if it picked up, but it does have a... Yeah, that linkage is really screwed up if I don't have 100% throttle here. I mean, there's plenty. And it's running away like this idle-wise. It's a linkage issue. You just gotta have to buy new linkage, slap it on, not a big deal. And it's not even the linkage, it's just the arms, the hind joint arms, I guess, lack of better terms. Yeah, I'll just head back to the shop. It's running fine. Let them know about the idle. Clutch is fine. It might need a nose shaft. Ooh, nice shaft. It might need a transmission nose shaft. But other than that, it's completely drivable. All right, draw me back on the big cam. I'll show you that massive puddle. And someone's calling me.
All right, guys, before I cap off this episode, car's back, ran fine. Yeah, Exxon Valdez. I did end up trying to readjust the carbs. I put a stiffer spring on, try to get it to return to zero or back. It seems to be working better, but it needs new linkage. All right, let me close this out. All right, guys, I'm going to close out this episode on Squareback. Starter in, performing well. I mean, it was just a quick starter. And the fuel system, the fuel pump seems to be working as it should. It's not overpressurizing. Car drives great. Probably needs definitely needs a linkage kit because they are stiff. I did go back, put a bigger spring on, I think I said, just to try to help return it back. I shot penetrating oil on them. They're shot. There's only so much you can do to keep the... Well, once they start going and you start losing the lubricity and the movement, well, they start going out. So with that said, I'm going to call the owner, tell him to pick it up. This is actually a freebie to a certain extent. Nothing I did was, it was in trade for parts that didn't come in. If you look, if you watch the other Squareback video, the two ends, I charged him for a full linkage kit. He got me the ends that I was missing because I robbed them off mine. So he has a $130 credit. So basically free. He's out for a fuel pump. I think I did this in a little over an hour. I'm giving him he's a good customer. I'm giving him some help on this one. But I'm not bending him over because I know his other car is going to show up eventually. Anywho's, with that said, Squareback, done. If you like this episode, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. If you do, I promise you, we will chit chat as always. Thanks for watching and hopefully see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.